If you are the kind of person who carries everything, other people's expectations, responsibilities, emotions, and the weight of unseen struggles, you know the peculiar exhaustion that comes with it. But what happens when no one else acknowledges this burden? When you are the silent anchor, the dependable presence, the one everyone leans on, yet no one asks, "Are you okay?" The weight does not just reside in your shoulders, it infiltrates your mind, distorts your sense of worth, and makes even rest feel like a betrayal. That's the hook, and it's where this story begins. Many high-functioning individuals find themselves trapped in the unspoken belief that to stop carrying is to fail, to disappoint, to diminish their value. You have trained your nervous system, consciously or unconsciously, to endure relentless load, to equate stopping with weakness, even though deep down every fiber of your being screams for relief. The human brain, especially in high-stress and empathetic individuals, develops an internalized system that ties self-worth to responsibility. Cortisol spikes, sympathetic nervous system remains on alert, and the constant state of vigilance becomes normalized. Consider the story of Daniel, a 32-year-old project manager in a high-demand tech company. From childhood, he learned that taking care of others meant being loved, appreciated, and safe. Now, decades later, he finds himself answering emails at midnight, carrying his team's frustrations home, mediating conflicts among friends, and internalizing his family's unspoken anxieties. One Friday evening, Daniel decided to stop. He put his laptop down, locked his office door, and walked outside to feel the air without distraction. But almost immediately, guilt, anxiety, and restlessness surged. The quiet was unbearable, not because of external pressure, but because his internalized rules screamed that stopping is unacceptable. Thoughts collided. What if something goes wrong? Who will notice if I do less? I am letting them down. Yet this was not weakness. It was the natural response of a mind conditioned to carry. High-functioning individuals often develop this pattern, which psychologists refer to as the over-responsibility complex. It is not a flaw, it is a survival mechanism trained over years. But survival does not require perpetual self-sacrifice. Understanding the psychological and physiological roots is the first step toward change. Rest, pause, and self-compassion are not betrayal. They are corrective measures to rewire a nervous system accustomed to chronic overextension. Here are strategies to reclaim autonomy and release the unnecessary weight. First, acknowledge the load. Identify what you are carrying that is not inherently yours. Name each responsibility, expectation, or emotion that weighs on you. Awareness reduces the unconscious pull of over-responsibility. Second, set intentional boundaries. Communicate clearly what is yours to handle and what is not. Boundaries are not selfish, they are essential for sustaining energy and preventing burnout. Third, practice micro-releases throughout the day. Even a 5-minute breath, a short walk, or journaling your emotions signals to the nervous system that it is safe to relax. Fourth, share responsibility selectively. Delegation and trust are powerful tools, not signs of incompetence. Fifth, reframe guilt and obligation. When the urge to carry everything surges, observe it, label it as conditioned thought, and consciously choose whether it aligns with your well-being and priorities. Sixth, engage in restorative rituals, meditation, light movement, listening to music, or creative expression. These activities recalibrate your nervous system and remind your body that stillness is safe. Over time, the cumulative effect of these practices transforms perception. The knot in the chest, the racing thoughts, the relentless self-judgment gradually loosen. Daniel, after weeks of implementing these micro-steps, noticed a subtle liberation. The weight of constant vigilance lightened. Sleep came more easily. Anxiety receded, and he discovered clarity and presence that had been buried under decades of unacknowledged labor. Importantly, the change was not dramatic overnight. It was incremental as the nervous system relearned safety and as the mind redefined value beyond perpetual carrying. Millions share Daniel's experience, yet the culture of over-responsibility glorifies constant sacrifice, making relief feel forbidden.
Recognizing that the burden is partly conditioned, partly unnecessary, creates an opening for conscious choice. You can carry responsibly without being enslaved to all weight. You can honor others without annihilating yourself. You can rest without guilt. Awareness, consistent practice, and strategic micro-actions create sustainable emotional and physiological balance. When you implement these steps, the paradox resolves. You remain competent, dependable, and empathetic while reclaiming autonomy, energy, and clarity. The mind no longer equates your worth with the sum of all burdens carried. Responsibility coexists with self-care. Compassion extends to yourself as well as others. The liberation of releasing what is not yours allows strength, creativity, and focus to flourish. In the end, carrying everything is not a measure of value. The capacity to discern, release, and restore defines resilience. You deserve relief. You deserve clarity. You deserve the freedom to carry only what aligns with your purpose and capacity. When you honor these principles, guilt diminishes, energy returns, and life feels expansive rather than suffocating. This is the mastery of being reliable without being enslaved, knowing when to act, when to pause, and when to let go, creating a life where responsibility is balanced with humanity and high-functioning potential coexists with deep self-care.